Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melanie and I make videos about living in Copenhagen. I haven't talked about secondhand shopping for a while, so I thought I'd pop on today and have a little chat about that. Now, during the autumn holiday, we took a day trip to Lund in southern Sweden. Now, we're able to travel around now with very little restrictions. So we had another trip to Sweden because we love Sweden. But we've been to Lund a few times, and I made a video previously, which I'll link up above, showing you what Lund looks like at this time of the year. It was exactly this time of year that we went in this video, but I think it was in 2018, but it gives you a good idea of the city. But we'd been there before, so after we'd had a delicious lunch and did a little bit of chocolate shopping, which I'll put some little pictures here to show you what we ate and bought chocolate wise, it started to rain. And as I say, we've been to Lund a few times before. My son wanted to check out some electronic shops. So we looked on Google, and I also was quite keen to find some secondhand shops. Now, you'll know from previous videos, and I'll put a link up here to secondhand shopping videos I've made in Copenhagen. I'm a big fan of secondhand shopping. And I'm also very conscious about spending money on things. And I like to kind of not spend money on things that I don't really want or really like. And sometimes I started to feel that this was becoming a little bit joyless. I used to really enjoy shopping when I was younger, in my 20s, but nowadays I find it doesn't hold the same appeal for me, and I don't really like a lot of the things that I see in the shops, particularly clothing wise. But what I do like is going to secondhand shops where you can find different things and unusual things. Now, for example, this top I'm wearing here, although it's from H&M, I did find it in a secondhand shop here in Copenhagen. It's virtually unworn, and I really love it. I think it looks like little fried eggs. But anyway, so I found that in the secondhand shop. But when we were over in Sweden, I had a quick Google search and I found a secondhand shop. So we trundled off to look for it. And as we came around the corner, right in front of us was a big, huge secondhand shop. It's called, and I'm going to try and pronounce it, Erikshjälpen. It's a charity, a Swedish charity that supports children. And we saw that, and I hadn't really checked very carefully on Google Maps, and I thought that was the secondhand shop that we were looking for. So we went across, and it was amazing. And I wish I'd taken some footage in there, but I didn't. But they had a big book section with English and Swedish books in there, big clothing section. I couldn't really bother to have a route through that, but we had a good look through the books and also through the kind of the knickknacks and the electronics. And it's quite fascinating, some of the things that they sell in there. But I spent in that shop around 130 Danish crowns, which is around £15 in English money, and I got quite a few what I think are quite nice little bits and bobs, and also some books. So I thought I'd show you today the things that I picked up in there. And another lovely thing about the shop is, well, I'll show you these first of all. We got these, there were 3 of them. They're little shells, and they've kind of got like a split in the middle of them. I hadn't a clue what they were. I guess they were something maybe like to put napkins in, but they didn't seem to have the right kind of size thing for a napkin. And we were looking around, and I asked the girl that worked, did she know what they were? And she said no, she didn't really know, maybe napkin holders. And my son spotted what looked like a nice friendly lady, probably in her 60s. So I went up to her and I said, oh, excuse me, do you speak English? Oh yes, she did, of course. And I said to her, do you know what these are? And she did know what they were. And I put up on Instagram asking people to guess what they are, and everyone was saying napkin holders, but they're not, because the napkins fall out. What they actually are is, as you can see here, hopefully you can see that, they're little stands so that you can put place names if you want to put place settings at a table, or as the lady that we were talking to in there suggested, probably like in restaurants maybe to put a reservation card in. So I got 3 of them. There are 3 of us, so I got 3 of those, and I thought they were quite cute. And they were only, I think they were like 12 Swedish crowns each, which is around 10 Danish kroner. So I got those 3. I also got a couple of placemats. You can see them here. And what they did in this shop, I mean, it was beautifully laid out. It was really, really nicely laid out. They put these 2 together, and they're pictures from the Lake District in the UK. And they're nice cork-based mats, and I thought they would be quite good to put hot things on the table. But also, they were kind of a little bit vintage looking, and I quite liked those. So I got those, and then they also had a Halloween kind of display, which I think is a sign of a good charity shop, second-hand shop, is that they kind of go through the stock that they have and make appropriate displays. And whilst many people that I've shown this to think it's quite tasteless, I got this plastic skull. Its head comes off, and I've subsequently seen them in the supermarket here, and normally they come with sweets in them. Obviously this one didn't come with sweets in it. And I've got some little bat fairy lights, so I put that in there. You can't really see because it's dark. It's not dark at the moment, but makes it into a spooky glowing head. And I just thought that was a bit quirky and a bit fun, and would add to some kind of Halloween decorations that we have. But the thing that I got most excited about, what I love about a lot of second-hand shops, is books. And I have found through the years where I've browsed in second-hand charity bookshops, one in Fulham when I worked in London, I remember getting a book which has become one of my favourite books, which I reread quite regularly, called Almost French. I also found an interesting book in a charity shop here in Copenhagen, and they're often books that you wouldn't find in bookshops. They're not terribly popular, they're not the best sellers. People have read them and obviously just passed them on. But I got 3 books in the charity shop there. They were all around 30 Swedish crowns. The first one is The Accidental Apprentice, which is written by the same author as Slumdog Millionaire. It looks like the book's never been read, and it sounds like quite an interesting story. So I got that one. I thought that that was something that I might quite enjoy reading. I also got Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons. This is quite an old book, as in was published quite a long time ago, and it's something that I've had on my want to read list for a while. And again, it looks like it's barely been read. So I'm looking forward to, I've actually started reading it already and really enjoying it. So looking forward to getting stuck into that. And then the last one is Belgravia by Julian. This is the author that wrote Downton Abbey, I think. Is it Downton Abbey? Yes, new novel by the creator of Downton Abbey. Never read Downton Abbey, never watched it. But I thought, reading the blurb on the back of this one, it sounded quite intriguing. So I got 3 books there for around 60 Swedish crowns. I'll put however much that is in English money on the screen. But I was really, really happy with that sort of small haul that I got from the second-hand shop in Lund. I've looked up subsequently these Eric's Hjälpen shops. They're all over Sweden. They're massive. They've got good coverage. There's one in Malmö. I saw there was one obviously in Lund and some others. And the girl in the shop also pointed in the direction of a couple of other second-hand shops. One further up the road, not as big as the one that she had, but had sort of books and clothes and various things, and were really, really nicely laid out. And I think that's one of the most important things about a second-hand shop, is that you should have a nice shopping experience. You shouldn't feel like you're just like, digging through unwanted things from people, but actually you get a nice experience. And then the third one, which I'll put a couple of pictures here that we went in, it was rather like going inside a hoarder's house. It appeared that it was like a council run second-hand shop. Nothing seemed to have any prices on, and it was really, really disorganized, but it was the kind of place that if you had the patience, you could probably find some real treasures. And I loved these Moroccan style lights that they had in there, which were lovely, but again, no prices on them, and really they're not for us, but I just thought they were really beautiful. But there were some really odd things in that shop, but again, if you like to have a little route around, it's a perfect place to kind of go. So I thought you might like to see the treasures that I got for very, very little money. Obviously, some of these things I've shown you, you might think, oh my goodness, I wouldn't want those. But I'm sure you'll agree that getting 3 decent paperbacks for that much money is a win-win kind of thing. So that was what we got. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it's inspired you to, when you go to a new town, to maybe check out the second-hand shops there, because you'll find different things, particularly if you're in different countries. But if you've enjoyed the video, do give me a thumbs up, and if you're not already a subscriber, please do subscribe. I'm really, really making an effort to make quite a few new videos. Now we're getting into the autumn and I have more time on my hands, I can do that. So yeah, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And until next time, bye for now.